All right, this is the last set of bird notes, and we'll start by going over groups of birds. So, first up is birds of prey. They live by killing and eating other animals. They have hooked beaks. They have large feet with strong curving talons or claws, and they're used for capturing and grasping onto prey. The birds of prey seize their prey with their feet as they swoop down from the air, and then eagles are the largest birds of prey. There are two groups within the birds of prey. There's nocturnal ones that hunt at night, and then diurnal ones that hunt during the day. These guys are able to kind of lock onto their prey, and they can see 8 times better than humans can. Right. The next group is parrots. Parrots are most known for what they look like. They have curved, strong bills. They have the ability to mimic human speech, and some can live for 50 years or more. And there's a variety of range in what colors they come in. Right? Parrots are often kept as pets, and many species are victims of an illegal pet trade, and they're captured from the wild, and most are transported in inhumane conditions. As you can see in some of these pictures, like this box here is packed full of parrots, right in here as well. This one's stuffed in a bottle to keep it from flying away, and it's just a very inhumane and disgusting thing that goes on in our world, right? Some issues with keeping parrots as pets is that they're loud, messy, they need a lot of space and attention, and they get bored easily, and they can be very destructive when they become very bored. So a lot of people just don't do their research when they want to adopt or purchase a bird at the pet store, and then they learn quickly how messy and attention-seeking they are. And so they end up giving them away. Right. Next group is passerines or songbirds. These are perching birds that make up the largest group of birds. Their beaks are designed for the type of food we eat, which we already went over in a previous video. The perching foot will have 3 toes pointing forward and 1 points backwards, which you can see here in this diagram. And there's a variety of colors and species of songbirds. Next is wading birds. These include herons, flamingos, storks, and many others. They have long, skinny legs, and they're going to live generally near shallow water. They have long, spayed toes to just help them distribute their weight in the mud, and they'll eat fish, crustaceans, mollusks, and other small mammals. Then there's the lobed feet birds, which include coots and grebes. They have lobes on their feet, which is how they get their name, that aid in swimming and as well as walking on mud and vegetation. So you can see their feet here. They're just kind of weird looking. Then there are the swimming birds, which have short legs with webbed feet. Ducks, while they look like they have teeth, they do not have teeth. They have lamellae, which are going to be formed out of hard material of the mandible that allows the duck to strain food from the water. And then, of course, their popular webbed feet, look like that. Then there are the woodpeckers. They have strong bills for drilling and drumming on trees and long sticky tongues for extracting food. 2 toes will point forward and 2 toes will point backwards, and this foot arrangement is good for grasping the limbs and the trunks of trees. Members of this family can walk vertically up the tree trunk, which is beneficial for activities such as foraging for food or nest excavation. And they are found around our area. There was a news story about a year or so ago in Atlanta of a woodpecker pecking at people's side mirrors on their car, and people had to cover them with plastic bags so that the bird would stop pecking at the mirrors. Next is flightless birds, which are penguins. They're going to live in the southern hemisphere. Most are going to be cold weather penguins, but there are some that are not cold weather, like the African penguin, which will live off the coast of South Africa. Their wings are used for swimming and steering instead of flight. Then there's other flightless birds, such as the ostrich, which is found in Africa. They have very long, strong legs used to reach speeds of 40 miles per hour. They weigh up to 250 pounds, and it is the largest of the birds. Their wings are used for mating displays, not for flying. They lay eggs that are generally about 3 pounds each. They do not bury their heads in the sand. That is a complete myth. They also have very strange looking feet. Just saying. All right, and then there's the kiwi bird, which is found in New Zealand. It's about the size of a chicken, and it lays the largest of eggs of all birds compared to its body size. So it's not necessarily the largest egg, but compared to body size. If you see here in this X-ray, this is the body, this is the egg. That's how massive this egg is. It's crazy. The egg is almost as big as an ostrich egg, right? But it's a much like a chicken laying an ostrich-sized egg. It's crazy, right? Next is migration. Migration is the periodic movement and return of animals from one place to another. Immigration is the movement of individuals into an area occupied by existing population, and then they stay there. So birds will migrate back and forth. They migrate mainly because seasons change with their habits. The birds move to more suitable habitat during unfavorable seasons like the winter. This will help them find food, shelter, water, and a place to raise their family. How birds navigate their migration. Scientists believe that some will use landmarks such as rivers, mountains to help guide them. Some will use the Earth's magnetic fields. They have the ability to sense them, and some will use position of the stars and the sun. The migration pattern will depend on the species, of course. There are generally what's considered flyways, which are routes birds take to accomplish their journey. In the US, we have 4 main flyways, which pretty much line up with time zones. So here we can see Georgia's in the Atlantic flyway, of course. For migration, many ornithologists, which are scientists that study birds, they like to use radio towers. The wires that support the towers are unseen by the birds generally, and they end up colliding with them. So then the researcher can see which species are flying in the area by identifying the corpses of the birds on the ground around the towers. So it's kind of morbid, but it also helps them, study them. So some symbols: the Georgia state bird is the brown thrasher. The dove is considered a symbol for peace and harmony. Ravens are generally thought of as predicting a death. And then the owl is seen as either wise or the prophet of doom. Some record book information: the largest bird at 9 feet tall is the ostrich. The fastest bird/animal at 200 miles per hour is a falcon. And the smallest bird is the bee hummingbird at only 2.5 inches. So that's tiny. And then the fastest swimmer is the Gentoo penguin. The longest migration at 25,000 miles per year is the Arctic tern. The largest tongue goes to the flamingo, and the largest wingspan is an wandering albatross, which has a wingspan of 9 to 14 feet, which is just crazy. So anyway, that is it for the bird notes.